Hi, everybody. Welcome back. This is Ilah Brock, Most Things Hypnosis. I am your host, Ilah Brock, and we're live at 5. And thank you so much for joining me today. Uh, we're having an exciting show today. And if you pay close attention, you'll actually learn how past life regression, or AKA PLR, can help in a therapeutic way. And before I introduce my very special guest, I would like to give you a brief insight, just a real short insight, how I became a hypnotherapist. Uh, there isn't a lot of time to go over the details, so I'll make it very brief, and we'll go from there. I was attending law school. This is back in 2017, and I had was anxious, depressed, blah blah blah. Went and sought the help of a hypnotherapist, and his name is Jake Rubin. He's in West LA. That was an amazing experience, and I believe it truly saved my life at the time. And even now, I can't imagine my life any other way. So um, it was probably, I'll have Jake on in January of 2022. And so you can all meet him. He's like the start of everything that I am now. Uh, After a couple of weeks of sessions, I went for the tour at the school that he graduated from, that our guest graduated from, that I graduated from, and signed up for classes, left law school, and haven't looked back since. And I'm following my passion. This is my calling. So it helped boost my confidence, my motivation. I was able to lose like 75 pounds in a year, although Corona helped me find some of it. I gained clarity. The demons left me, if you will. And I am also incredibly happy. At this point in my life, that is, I can't even imagine. It's beyond understanding. I can't even articulate. So I'd like to introduce my guest today. Her name is Michele Guzy. She's also a graduate from the same hypnotherapy school that I attended. She was a past senior instructor at Hypnosis Motivation Institute, HMI, and she is internationally known as the Mind Coach and considered one of LA's premier hypnotherapists with 30 years of experience in the field of behavior modification, mind-body healing. Her clientele ranges from A-list actors, musicians, stunt performers, pro athletes, top-level executives, therapists, and business professionals. She has been featured on numerous TV and radio shows, podcasts, and publications for her hypnotherapy modalities. And as is an expert, has an expertise in past life regression, providing therapy and coaching services for children, teens, and adults. Michele uses a straightforward, goal-driven hypnotherapy style, as well as leading approaches based on neuroscience. Her motto is, all answers lie deep within the mind. You just have to be willing to look inside. Thank you so much, Michele, for joining us today. How's the weather there in Woodland Hills? Just real quick.
Hi, Ilah. First off, it's hotter than heck out here, so I have to do some hypnosis on me just to cool off
Ooh,
before
yes.
I melt.
I
Okay,
getcha.
so I'll do that, and then we can do the show. It'll be good.
There
It'll be
you
good.
go. I want to get down to business. I believe that there is a lot of information that should get out to the masses, if you will, and trying to do that in an hour-long show. We'll talk fast and everybody listen fast. Starting with what is past life regression? How long has it been around, and what do you know about? What obviously you know a lot about it, but if you can explain how it can help in a therapeutic sense.
So, Ilah, past life regression is basically a modality of hypnotherapy. It's a little bit more of the metaphysical side of what we do because hypnotherapy, as you know, is behavior modification. And it's just tapping into the deepest part of the subconscious mind to explore if you possibly have lived before this life. And it's just based on the theory of reincarnation, which
Mm-hmm.
has been around for thousands of years. So this is
Right.
not a new theory.
Concept.
You know,
Okay.
reincarnation with many religions,
Right.
many cultures, spans all the way back from, India, Asia,
Right.
and so forth. So it's taking that reincarnation modality and that belief and just taking it into another level of healing. And so
Mm.
when we use this type of modality for our clients, they're able to come in and tap into their spirit and their soul to see if there's messages and information that they can utilize in this life that might be a benefit for them. So it's a fun modality. I love doing it. I've been doing it for about 30 years, so I'm
Wonderful.
excited to talk about it for this whole
Awesome.
segment and ask me anything and everything. So
I'll try to
people are
find the
really
questions.
comfortable.
This is great. You've been doing it for 30 years, but you're only 35, so you really started young.
She started actually when I was 9. I'm a little bit older than that. Yes, I actually started doing past life regressions when I was about 9 years old. I
Wow.
found some books and it came naturally to me. So
Wonderful.
I tell my clients I've been doing hypnotherapy since I was a child, and it's
Perfect.
it's just a fun way of looking at life.
Perfect. So, take me through an actual, progressive PLR, past life regression session.
Yeah.
You have a client come in. Do you do it like in a first session? Do you wait for subsequent? Do you need to condition them at all? How does that work in a first session? How long is it?
Yeah, so when clients come in and they want to do a past life regression, the most important thing for us to do is first off get on a phone consultation, because it's literally not for everybody, and
Okay.
it's not where I'm going on a fishing trip. I'm not going to go in and find all your deep dark secrets.
Right.
It's a very specific type of therapeutic tool that I use. So I want to get you on a phone consultation first and ask you quite a few questions about why. Why is it that you want to do a past life regression? What is it that you want to explore? And how do you think this is going to benefit you in this life?
Oh, okay.
So many reasons I love that people come in for a past life regression is because they want to find out a connection that maybe they have with another person.
Oh,
For example, I just had somebody come in who wanted to know who their mother was in another lifetime, because they have such a strong connection, and they were sisters in a past life. And could be relationships. Maybe you want to know who your boss was in another life, your children were in another life. So it's people oriented.
Right.
But most of the time, people like to do a past life regression because they want to figure out why they have certain behaviors or patterns, fears or phobias in this lifetime.
Oh, because they're learned.
Yeah, and they can't put their finger on it, so they don't know why it's there. There's
Okay.
no, they have a fear of fire, but nothing ever happened to them in this life. They have a fear of drowning, but they've never experienced that, in this lifetime.
Right.
So they want to know where this fear is stemming from. And when people are curious, because we are curious as humans,
Right.
we want to know, could it possibly be energy or stored information that comes from, times that we may have lived before? So I'll do a consultation with somebody.
Okay.
I want to find out if this is the best type of therapy for you. We may do it in the first session, or we may wait another session. I may have you come in and just do some basic hypnotherapy with me. And then when I actually do the past life regression session, my past lives are anywhere from 3 to 4 hours long.
So they're in a hypnotic state during that whole time?
Not the whole time. So when they come in, then we're going to sit down, we're going to get to know each other a little bit more. I want to know your history, where you're coming from. Let's talk more about the issue and what you think hypnosis is, what you think hypnotherapy is. I'm going to explain how the mind works on a subconscious level. And then we break down what will happen during the past life. And there's many things that can occur that, of course, we can talk about. And then they're usually in session, in trance, for up to about 2 hours. And that
Okay.
includes the hypnotic inductions, deepening
Right.
techniques, and going in as deep as possible into that past life experience. So, plan on being with me for a half day. We're going to camp out in my office, have a lot of fun, do a little energy healing as well, and just explore who you were in another lifetime.
And do they talk? Did your clients talk?
That's people are so confused because they really don't know what hypnosis is. So
Right.
so let's talk about hypnosis first.
Go for it.
What is it? Because people have the myths
Right.
and what they've seen on TV and what they see in movies.
Right.
So we know that hypnosis is what? It's just a heightened state of suggestibility.
Right.
all right? And so we're always in this state of suggestibility. We go to the movies. We're then in hypnosis, aren't we? We're in suggestibility. We drive down the freeway. We miss our exit. We're in hypnosis. We play sports. We play music. We're in hypnosis. So because hypnosis is just a natural state of your mind and body, how your brain is functioning, people can talk. We can talk during the movies, right? We can open our eyes. We can get up and walk out. If it's a bad movie, we're going to walk out. If we're excited in the movie, we're going to laugh or cry or scream. So we have emotions. So when people go into a past life, sometimes, Ilah, it's just like watching a movie. It's like people see themselves in another lifetime.
Are they disassociated
on
from
a
it?
movie screen. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are they disassociated from it? So they're just watching.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so they disassociate, which sometimes is a little safer for people and feels real comfortable, because then they can just put themselves outside and say, well, that is me back in 1802 when I was, just came to the Americas and I went across the plains in a covered wagon, and that's me in that dress, or that's me as that cowboy.
Gotcha.
So they can pinpoint and watch the movie unfold.
Nice.
And when they do it that way, then I can kind of start and stop, and I can rewind and go backwards and go forward. So it's an interesting way of just exploring that. So that's just one modality. And people, yes, they're going to talk.
Okay.
They're going to tell me what they see. They're going to tell me what they feel, what they hear, what they smell. All senses are heightened. Sometimes people get a taste. Sometimes people just, have a full body reaction. So movies and in the mind replaying those movies of a past life is just one type of journey that people can take when they go into this type of therapy with me.
Okay, I have a couple. I've been writing down questions while you talk.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed any clients while they're in that hypnotic state during a PLR, their voice changing to another life that they've been in? And what about, I've heard the comments made about transitioning from death of one life into the birth of another. People can actually experience that in the state of PLR.
Yeah. So we'll think of past life regression, or PLR, as we're calling it, as it's kind of like going to Disneyland. And there's so many different rides at Disneyland. And when you get to Disneyland, or if you're close to Florida, you're going to Disney World, right? You can be there for days. There's so many different possibilities.
Okay.
We got the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. We got the teacups. We got some Tinkerbell thing. I don't know, Space Mountain. And when we first get there, we're so excited because we get a map of Disneyland.
Right.
And we start planning out, well, where do we want to go to hit all of those best rides, to experience Disneyland to the fullest, to feel, to be transported. So when you go on, the what is that one with the ET? You go on the ET ride, and you're in the whole visual aspect, and you're riding the bicycle with ET. It looks like you're really there because it's virtual reality.
Right.
So exploring past lives, one of the levels is we can go in and we can take a look at it like it's a movie. Another level, and that's dissociated, right? Another level is where we can be associated and we can actually experience the past life like we were there. We are that cowboy going across the plains in the covered wagon. We are that Native American Indian in the Indian tribe. We are a gladiator back in Roman times. We're there. We look down, we see our body, we hear, we're feeling, we have the sensations, we're looking through our own eyes. And that's a very deep associated state that some people access. Not everybody can go there. Not everybody can go there.
Gotcha.
So there's the two differences between being associated and disassociated in hypnosis. And I also tell people, before we even start the session, I don't know who or what you might be.
Oh, what?
You could be human. You could be animal.
Okay.
I had a lady who was a dinosaur last month. That was fun. She was a baby brontosaurus.
I love it.
You could be other. I had another client who was a mountain.
Mountain.
Literally was just a mountain and explored being a mountain.
Wow.
And because it's such a fun type of therapy and it's just an exploration, there's no judgment.
Right.
There's no right or wrong, there's no good or bad, there's no one way of doing that.
Right.
So when you go into that past life and you can just be so open and curious and leave all beliefs outside the door, leave all judgments, leave all fears outside the door, then it is like you're going into Disneyland in your own mind. And you can ride any ride that you want, take as much time as you want.
Mm-hmm.
But the key and why people come in for past lives is because they want to know some of the details.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask very specific questions. I'm not going to lead you. This is not a
Right.
psychic reading. I'm not going
Right.
to tell you where to go or how to do it. I'm going to ask you specific questions.
And these questions stemmed, I'm sorry, from like
Yes,
your
go ahead.
cognitive talk, your consultation,
Yes,
stuff like
yes.
that.
So I
as
want to
well as
know,
guided.
first off, when we enter that past life, I want to know what you look like. So the very first thing that we're going to do is take a look at your form. Now,
Okay.
you may not have a physical body. So I'm not going to say take a look down at your feet because I've had clients who don't have feet.
Oh. Okay.
And I've had a client who was a fish, so there's no feet if they're a fish, right?
Right.
So, but I want them to look at their form and tell me what they're seeing.
Uh-huh.
If they're human, what are you wearing? Because that gives me an idea. Are you a male? Are you a female in this form? How old are you?
Right.
Do you have an age? Is there a name that you associate and relate to? Okay, and
Gotcha.
then we get some information about ourselves, and then we start taking a look out in the environment. Well, what does it look like? Are you inside? Are you outside? Okay, what is
Right.
happening around you? Are there other people there? Are you in a city, a town, a village? Where are you specifically? I want dates. I want names.
Oh.
I want places.
Awesome.
And I want the storyline. So once I figure out where you are in this moment, then I'm kind of like the director in the movie, but I have the remote control. I can stop and pause
Mm-hmm.
and go into an experience because I want you to have the most important experiences of that lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So I can take you
Right.
into those experiences and then take you through the whole lifetime from being a child all the way up to what we call the transition of that time. I do want to know how you transitioned or how you went into what we call the death sequence. How did
Okay.
you pass from that lifetime?
Uh,
And so once we gather all of that information in as much detail as possible and answering the questions that you've come in for, who was my mother in another life,
right.
then we can come back out and we can step out of that past life and look back at it, and then we can ask ourselves, well, what was the lesson that we learned? What was the most important thing that we received from that lifetime? What was
Okay.
the information? And it's always just it's an aha moment for my clients because most of the time, even if something difficult happened or traumatic happened in that lifetime, they're always coming out and telling me a positive lesson that they've learned. I've learned looking at that lifetime how to love myself more, or how to release my anger, or how to let go of my fears. And
Wow.
so unconsciously, what happens is when you go into that past life, then your mind in this current life, it thinks that it was already there because there's no fact or fantasy,
Right.
and it thinks it already occurred, and so it takes that lesson and then releases, if there's an issue, releases that from that past life. So we call it a healing modality, Ilah, because sometimes when people come out, especially if they've done fears and phobias, they can come out of a past life regression and their fear can be completely gone.
I love it. Oh my gosh, I love this.
Completely gone out of one session. So
Wow.
it's pretty amazing to me, and I never know what's going to happen, and I know the power of the mind, and I allow people just to go there with it and get as much information as possible.
Awesome. Okay, so but can their voices actually
The
change?
voices can change. So
Oh,
people, for example, if you go back in time and you are a gladiator and you're in Roman time, you might be speaking Italian.
Oh, and you didn't even know you could speak it.
And they don't even know they can speak Italian. So all of a sudden
Wow.
they're speaking Italian, or they're speaking French,
Wow.
or they're speaking in a different, dialect or a different, cultural tone of voice. And I'm recording the entire session for you.
Okay.
So you'll remember what's happened, but because we're in so long, you may not remember all the details.
Gotcha.
But that's why I like to make a really good recording for you so you can go back and listen to it.
Gotcha.
So I've had people's voices change. I've had people have what we call abreactions with their physical body.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen skin color change. I've seen eye color change. I've had people write in hieroglyphics.
Wow.
I've had people all of a sudden who normally write with the right hand can write fluently with their left hand.
Oh, wow.
And just have these talents that start coming up. So I go to Disneyland with you, so I'm just having just as much fun. Whatever comes up, I think it's just awesome, and I go with the flow, so we can really explore.
So,
Yeah.
like for example, somebody who writes right-handed and now they're writing left. When they come out of that and they're out of hypnosis now and they're kind of into this present day, can they now write left-handed, or is that just something
Nope.
that okay? Is it
Nope,
something that
they
happened
cannot.
in their
So
past?
if they're in that past life,
They can.
and they're back in France,
Okay.
in 1700s,
Right.
and they were writing with their left hand with that feather pen that they were
Gotcha.
using. Then they come out. Usually they come out, and I'll say, "Well, take a look at this," and they'll say, "Well, what's that? Who wrote that?"
Huh.
And I'll say, "Well, you did." Well, I
Wow.
can't write with my left hand. Well, I don't know how to speak French.
Okay.
I don't know how to write in French. So it's
Um,
always really fun when
fun.
they come out if I have some type of evidence.
Right.
Or when they go back and they listen to the recording and they said, "Well, who was the Italian person that came into the session?" I said, "Well, that was you."
Wow.
They're like, "Well, I don't speak Italian. I don't know how that happened."
Amazing. Amazing. Gosh, my mind is going in 7 directions. Can anybody get stuck in a past life regression? Can they just get stuck? How much control does a client have once you've got them pretty deep? I mean, can they just open their eyes and walk out the door, or do they need some time to regroup?
That's a question that people ask us a lot, right? When we go into hypnosis, are you going to control my mind? Am I going to get stuck? Am I going to
Right.
forget everything? Am I going to tell you all my secrets?
Right.
And the bottom line is this, is because your conscious mind is still in control, we are just communicating to your subconscious or your unconscious mind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the same as, let's go back to the movies.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the movies, can you walk out of the movies?
Mm-hmm.
Are your eyes open?
Yep.
Can you make a decision? Let's get out of this one and go into another one?
Right.
So you can't possibly be stuck in the movie, even if you have emotions or you get really scared in that movie. You're not stuck there.
Good.
So you cannot get stuck in a hypnotic state when a hypnotherapist is doing a session.
Right.
Okay?
I like it.
It doesn't mean that you can't be suggestible to things in your environment, which
I
is what we
gotcha.
call environmental hypnosis,
Right.
which is a whole nother ball game.
Right.
But you cannot go into a past life and now you're stuck in 1702. It's not possible.
Good. Good. Okay.
So,
I like that. Family. I've heard of family curses, and we may have touched on it a little bit earlier. But like somebody who believes that there is a family curse. I had a client come in, one of my very first clients, and I actually took your course in PLR
yeah.
4 years ago, I guess it was now.
Yeah.
And because my mentor at the time suggested I don't do it unless I've been trained. And I didn't know much about it, so I'm so glad I took your course and kind of got an idea. So,
Yeah.
but she had an anger issue, and she believed that it came from a past life. And when I took her in, it was during the World War II when the Jews were being killed and gassed. But she couldn't get past the age of 10, 12. She was kind of stuck there. So when I brought her back out, then we had a couple more sessions. Something happened in present life between ages of 10 and 12 as well. And she has no idea, but she knows that there's connected. But 4 weeks later, she was like this whole other person I hardly recognized. Her anger was gone. And I didn't even I hadn't even had a chance to address it yet. So it's almost like whatever happened, I don't know, but it was brilliant for her. But my point is, my question, I guess, is she felt it was like a family or an ancestry curse, if you will. Is that just something common that somebody would like come in and just believe that's, can we get rid of it that way?
Sure. Right. So we work with belief patterns as well. And if that is a belief that you have, because we do pass down ancestral knowledge and lineage and energy. And if we really break it down, everything is just a source of energy. Our cells are energy. Our mind is energy. Our neurotransmitters are energy. All neural pathways in the brain, it's all electrical, it's all energy.
Mm-hmm.
And energy never dies. So
No.
thought is energy that's placed out into the universe. And when we have ancestral bloodlines and knowledge that's being passed down for centuries and centuries and centuries, and we've also heard certain things. For example, if you've heard that, oh my gosh, you know, grandma, great 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 grandma was cursed, and you know she was never able to go past the age of 30 because she had a debilitating illness, and then great great grandma had the same thing at age 30, and then great grandma, and then grandma had it. So if you hear that great great grandma, grandma, everybody, you know, on your mother's side didn't live past 30, then guess what that is? That's a hypnotic suggestion.
Yeah, you've been labeled.
And if you're taught that since you were just a baby and you were born, oh my gosh, you're probably not going to live past 30. You're a female in our family. None of the women live past 30. Well, you're implanting that into the subconscious mind. And then the subconscious mind has no choice but to act on that.
Mm-hmm.
And we start living that way.
Wow.
So this is all about beliefs.
I like
And
it.
with your client that came in that had those anger issues and went into that past life and understood that and had some clarity of, well, maybe that's who I was. I was back in, you know, the war. I experienced that. This is what we call a realization. This is what we call an aha moment or an epiphany, to where the mind can see that other reality, even if it's in another lifetime, get an understanding with it, bring it back here, and then say, oh, let me put 2 and 2 together. Oh, that makes sense.
Okay.
And because it makes sense, it now can just let it go.
That's true.
So that's how fast it is.
It is.
You know,
fast.
we learn to have fears in an instant. I can create a fear with you immediately, one that you never had before. I can install a fear. Okay? You fall off the boat when you're out in the ocean having a good time, and you fall in the water and nobody sees you and you can't swim too well. You're going to come up and you're probably going to develop a fear of drowning because of that trauma, because of that incident. And you never had it before, but it just takes one thing, one moment, one situation, one person, one comment to put a suggestion into your mind. But because it's created so fast, we can uncreate it, or what we call desensitize it, just as fast.
Wow.
So that's what happened with your client. You desensitized it. She got it. She released it and moved on. And there goes the anger. The anger is gone.
30 years of it. We're gonna take a quick break, and just for a few minutes. So please stay tuned for more with Michele Guzy and the past life regression. And this is Most Things Hypnosis. I am Ilah Brock, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Hi, everybody. We're back. Thank you so much for that quick break. Just making sure all the technical stuff is technical. We're talking. I'm your host, Ilah Brock, and just before the break, we were talking to Michele Guzy, who's explaining about past life regression. And we're just going to just get into some more of that. Real quick, though, before I wanted to promote this book. I love this book. I'm still going through it. It's called The Great Pain Deception. So I can get it in the camera pretty good. And it's by Stephen Ray Ozonick. It's a really good perspective on chronic pain. It's pretty thick, but he goes into what pain is. And basically, your body's angry, and anger is an emotion, and an emotion is energy in motion. And he explains what you're going through, all different types of pain, PTSD, back pain, fibromyalgia, the list goes on. So highly recommend reading to help you if you're experiencing chronic pain and you kind of want to know what it is, how to get rid of it. And then you can call me after you read the book and we'll discuss it. All right, we're back on with Michele Guzy, and we're going to be talking more about past life regression. And I wanted to go into people who might be in physical pain. That's why I wanted to promote that book. Does past life regression help people who are in pain? Can it help release pain that they don't have any reason the pain's there? They don't understand that they've always had, that sore back or that little twinge in their leg or whatever. Can past life regression help with that?
Yeah, so that's another issue that people may come in for. So besides relationships and just curiosity, fears and phobias,
Right.
people may want to find out why they have physical pain in their body.
Right.
And sometimes we have physical pain because, of course, something has happened.
Right.
We've had an accident and now our leg hurts and we're in that chronic pain.
Right.
But if you have pain in the body and the doctor says, it's all in your head, it's more mental or it's emotional stress, then that's a whole different ballgame.
Okay.
But yes, when people come in and they say, I have this pain and I don't know why it's there, I've done everything, or it's a reoccurring pain or reoccurring illness or dis-ease that comes up, we can go in and explore in a past life and see if something happened back then that's still being carried over.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example.
Please.
I had a client who had just severe neck pain, just so much neck pain, and went to the doctor, went to the chiropractor, the neurologist, everything, and just could not get rid of this neck pain. Did acupuncture, would get the cortisone shots, and it was just not going away, going away, and had it for such a long time, ever since he was probably like in his late teens or early 20s. And he finally came in and said, that's it, this is I need to know, is there a past life situation that happened? Because I keep having these reoccurring dreams, and I want to know if these are some type of evidence for this pain. And so I took him into hypnosis. We did a past life, and we went all the way back, and he was in the Civil War.
Okay.
And he was a young man. He was only about 17 years old, 18 years old. And in the Civil War, back then they had those guns with the bayonets.
Right.
Okay, and those are the guns that had the
Right.
knives on the end.
Right.
And he got into battle with somebody, and he got stabbed in the neck by the bayonet. Well, guess where that point of injury was?
Right where his was.
Exactly.
Wow.
Where that pain was. Exactly. And he was very associated in that past life. So he was that soldier in the Civil War. He could see himself. He could see the fighting that was going on. He saw the knife go in. He could feel the pain. He let himself transition because he did die from that wound right there on the battlefield. And he wasn't ready to die. He didn't want to go to war. He was so angry. He was so angry, and that's how he died. He didn't even get shot.
Wow.
He got stabbed in the neck.
Right.
Okay, by a bayonet. And so that wasn't really like an honorable death.
Right.
According to how his, family who had been in the war before.
Right.
And so we did some healing work with that as well as the past life. And when we
Wonderful.
came out, and I will tell you this much. when he was in the past life and he got stabbed in his neck, I could see the skin color changing.
Oh, wow.
I'm not joking. And the neck started to swell up. So his neck kind of came up about this far, and I could see the swelling. He was just sweating. I could see everything happening. Now, everybody, this is a very safe thing. You can actually experience the emotion, the physicalness of the past life without it really affecting your physical body now.
Good.
So it's just, once again, it's like going to the
safe.
movies. So I could see everything. And then we released it. Okay, went through the transition, got our learnings from it. What did we learn from that past life? And he said, well, I was a young boy. I was in the war. There was nothing else I could have done.
Right.
It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. And
how did his neck feel?
He came out, right, and just like you're released the anger. And would you believe he left the session, this swelling went down and everything. He left the session. And I said, just check in with me in about a week and tell me how you're doing. And he called me within a few days and he said, it's gone. The pain is it's gone completely.
Wow.
Because I don't know what we did, but it is gone.
What?
And this was, at least 20 years of chronic pain in his neck, just completely gone.
That's amazing.
And then I said, well, all right, check in with me in a couple weeks and tell me where you are. And so in a few weeks he called again. He goes, it's still gone. It's completely gone.
Amazing.
And I told him, go to the doctors, told everybody. They could not believe it.
Amazing.
They had no clue how that was even possible. So the mind is very, very powerful.
Yes.
And the mind can heal the body.
Yeah.
The body is just a storage unit for your pain and for your emotions and for your thoughts and for your feelings.
Right.
And sometimes just like we take our stuff from our house, put it in a storage unit, right? We pay money for that storage unit. We never see that stuff again.
Right.
But we're storing our stuff. So our body can physically store that emotional pain, injury, disease from the past. So
wow, that's
yes,
amazing.
we can definitely release pain with past life regression.
I wanted to ask about a little change on topic about past life regression. Somebody who comes to you that wants to go into a past life, do they already believe that they have had a past life, or do they even know? Can you be a brand new life and not even have a past life? Is that even possible? Or does everybody have a past life?
Yeah, and so that's the curiosity that people have with it. Because it is a belief based on reincarnation, it's not so much about, God, Goddess, all that there is. It's not a religious type of process. It's more of a metaphysical, it's more of an energy process. I don't need you to believe in past lives for it to work. I just need you to be open and curious.
Good.
But if you come in and you don't think that it's real, that you don't think that it's possible, actually, I'm doing a consultation with you, and if you tell me over the phone that, my girlfriend wants me to come in, but I don't really believe it, I don't think it's going to work, then I'm not going to waste my time, and I am not going to waste your money, because it's not cheap and it's not free.
Right.
I'm going to say, let's work on something else instead of trying to do a past life regression the first session, because if you don't believe it, then let's not do it. It's not going to work for you.
Resistance.
Okay? It's not magic. It's not magic.
Although people feel like it might be.
And then when we talk about souls, and if we talk about souls and our spirit, and that we really are made up of energy, universal energy, and this energy never dies, could our souls have been here for thousands and thousands and millions of years? Could it be possible? Possible. And energy also creates new energy. It's just like stars in the universe. There's new stars and planets and solar systems being formed all the time.
That's amazing.
So could we be a new soul? Could we be a soul that has incarnated into human form for the first time? Because remember, we're not always human. So maybe this is the first time that you've come down to planet Earth and you've became a human. And I've had a client like that, and we actually did a few past life regressions, and we just couldn't get anything. Nothing was coming up. And I had a sense maybe that she was more of a, as we would say, a newer soul, but I didn't say anything because I want you to find the answers for yourself.
Right.
And finally, she came out of one of the sessions and she just said, I think this is the first time that I've been human.
Wow.
I really think this is the first time, because in this life, she was just so fascinated with everything. She was always so curious about everything. Oh my gosh, look at that beautiful purple, mural behind you. That's the most amazing purple. Everything was just amazing and wonderful to her, as if she was, never human before.
Wow.
So everything is possible.
Perfect.
Everything is possible. I don't put anything
limits.
out of the realm of experience, and I just let us explore, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, then may not be the right time for us to do this type of session. We can explore it later, but when you're open and curious, you never know what's going to come out of your subconscious storage unit.
The modality of just hypnosis is an incredibly healing modality. I mean, people relate it to a stage kind of thing or whatever, entertainment. And yes, there are those hypnotists that do that, and there's this totally different kind of realm on that area. But it's amazing how powerful, and the scientific evidence that I've been reading in the last couple of years on just how this is so healing to people, where their mind can, create bone where bone didn't exist before, just by
Sure.
meditating on that idea. And you're taught how, etc. You're also a law of attraction coach too, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure.
And
Yes. So,
yeah, so you can
it's the
work-
law of attraction. Let's talk about that if you want to.
Yeah,
A little
well,
bit.
real quick, can past life regression, it's my last question on it before we have to, can it create, while they're in it, because you said it's very safe, and I believe you, but just for the listening, can it create a trauma in that client when they wake up? Or is there a safe mode that you put them in while they're in past life? Is there a way to immediately bring them back to present day if something traumatic is also happening in a past life?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. So before we even start the process, we're going to identify that we're in this current life right now. And a past life is just exploring another time in which you may have lived. So it's out of this time, it's out of this body. It is going to the movies in your mind, okay? So there's the reality and fantasy part of it. Before we even start, though, I do a technique called anchoring.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you, whether it's a key word or maybe I just do like a little touch right here on your shoulder, that any time that you are in a past life, if I feel like you've experienced that situation and we're kind of done with it, or you have a lot of emotions coming up, or you're really, really experiencing the war and you're a soldier there, I can let you experience it because I want you to feel it and see it and hear it and taste it and touch it, smell it, all of that. But then I can also stop the process and we can say, this is me, this is you, that's just the situation. And we can come out of that past life. Now, we don't come out of hypnosis, but I can take you out of the movie for a moment and I can close those curtains and then just say, okay, we're done. What did we learn from it?
Gotcha.
What did we learn? So it's a
Gotcha.
it's a very safe process. And when you do past life regression, you want to make sure that you're doing those type of sessions with somebody who is qualified, somebody who has the right type of training. Those of us who have gone to the Hypnosis Institute, we have over a year plus of training under our belt.
Yes.
And they need to know how to communicate to you when you are in that state and work with those questions and be able to follow up with the answers that you give.
Yeah, even if someone's having an abreaction, how do you react to it? Do you do something or do you let it play out? It depends on the abreaction, what's going on, etc. So you need some proper training, and I highly recommend, if you are interested in past life regression, to contact Michele. Real quick, so I want to touch, because we just have a few minutes. I would love to hear, I have been doing workshops a little bit on Success is Not an Accident, the Mental Bank program, and incorporating law of attraction with it. And I absolutely love these modalities. They're fun and educational, etc. But I want to hear what how you help a client with law of attraction. How does that work with you?
So the law of attraction is basically the theory that what you put out into the universe is going to come back to you. So if you have positive thoughts in your mind, what are you going to get in your life?
Positive. Yeah.
Positives, right? If you have
Exactly.
negative thoughts in your mind, what are you going to get?
You're going to get the negatives. Right.
Okay? If you have no thoughts in your mind, what are you going to get?
Nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely
Right.
nothing. So it's, that positive attraction, that law of attraction, that thinking is that if I can focus on what it is that I want, and it's actually about putting yourself into the future, creating your positive, powerful future self.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can envision that, what does it look like, sound like, and feel like, then you're actually creating a subconscious hypnotic suggestion.
Yeah.
So don't be surprised then if you're doing the process that you're teaching called the mental bank, or you're doing law of attraction work, that all of a sudden that brand new car that you've been thinking about for the last 3 months, all of a sudden it appears. Or that new job, all of a sudden you get that new job, or you get a business opportunity, or that relationship
Right.
comes to you. You've been searching for the perfect partner, and boom, there he is, or there she is.
Exactly.
It's because you put the energy out into the universe.
Right.
And when you put it out there and you truly believe that it's possible, and you get out of your way, then that like will attract like, and yes, it can come back to you. So law of attraction is a lot of fun, and I recommend it with everybody, especially to take your classes, because you are awesome, my dear.
Thank you. You're so sweet. I want to give you a chance real quick. We got a couple of minutes. If you can just go ahead and just let people know how to find you. I know it's on the label there, but I want it in audio too. So how do people find you? Where do they go? How can they tell me about it?
Yeah, so once again, my name is Michele Guzy, and I'm known as the Mind Coach, and I have a hypnotherapy clinic here in Woodland Hills, California, which is in Los Angeles. It's in the San Fernando Valley. I also do Zoom sessions and phone sessions. I have international clients. I do classes and trainings all around the world, and you can give me a call at 818-446-MIND. And I do free consultations over the phone for anybody that's interested in hypnotherapy, past life regression, or any type of healing modality, mind, body, emotion, and spirit.
I know
Go to
that
themindcoach.com, yeah, and just check me out.
Mindcoach.com. I know that you're an expert in body syndromes, and I'll be having a colleague of ours come on in a few weeks, Sean Green, to be talking about body syndromes as well. But I'd love to have you back real soon to talk about another modality that you do that you're very successful in, and it's body syndromes. I believe that is very good, and maybe get into that at some point. But in the near future, have you back again. Anyway, thank you, Michele, so much. I love it. I've taken so many notes sitting here. It's been great. Thank you so much, and have an amazing Thursday. And I look forward to having you on the show again. And
thank you so much, Ilah. You rock. I will see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Have a wonderful summer, and feel free to reach out.
Thank you. That's our show this week. I want to thank you all for tuning in. I look forward to your return next week with another amazing guest, Dan Gordon of Gordon Enterprises. He'll be helping you, yes, you, learn more about your best in business approaches. He coaches from an amazing perspective, and I have personally availed myself of his services in the past. He is incredible. He's dynamic and he's funny. You better bring your funny, Dan. So be sure to watch Most Things Hypnosis next Thursday, live at 5 with Ilah Brock. I am Ilah. I've been your host of here at Central Valley Hypnotherapy, and you can find me at ilahbrock.com. If there's anything else you'd like to discuss, just give me a call. Take care. Keep doing good work, and now go help someone. Have a great day. Take care, all.